With his body, I can construct a new Gallifrey.
The final episode of Doctor Who Season 2 is very nearly upon us, and after it initially aired on iPlayer and I think Disney Plus as well yesterday, there was seemingly no next time trailer, but the BBC have thankfully rectified that, and we've got a next time trailer to break down and analyse, because there's so much stuff happening in this episode. We've got two Ranis, we've got Conrad, we've got the possible, well, almost confirmed, but I'll discuss my worries about the returns of Omega, and we've got that baby, the Wish baby. But as I say, we're going to go through this trailer shot by shot, break it down. If you want to see the full trailer, you can check it out. I can't play it here, I've put a couple of clips in, I imagine, but yeah, let's just get to breaking it down. So our first shot here is the Doctor falling. This is going to be directly after last episode. I wonder if he is, like, obviously all these buildings are going into what the Rani describes as the Underverse. Is the Doctor going to fall through and at the start of the episode have this confrontation with Omega? Now, if he does, obviously one of the big questions is, is there going to be a redesign? Like, what's Omega going to look like? What if he's just a voice? Like a sort of disembodied voice. I mean, in the Three Doctors, he literally doesn't have a body. It's just like his armour's sort of being kept there by the power of his will. His physical form has completely rotted away. So it would actually make quite a lot of sense if Omega doesn't actually have anything other than his voice at the moment. But even then, I'm slightly concerned we might not even see his voice. There is a genuine possibility. What if this entire finale is the build-up of, like, if the Rani succeeds, Omega will break out. Thus, when the Doctor gets his victory, Omega doesn't break out and is left in the void space, or is just left not existing. Yeah. But I'm going to hold out hope that when the part of the episode starts with the Doctor falling into the Underverse, we're going to get a confrontation between the Doctor and Omega. Maybe Omega never makes it out of the Underverse, but we'll just have to wait and see. So yeah, the Doctor's falling. Then we cut into here, the Bone Palace, which, yeah, it's I don't quite know what's going on here. The clock is sort of displaying this weird blue energy kind of thing, while the Rani says, what's the exact line? It says it on screen. She says Omega. Now, I think that these two lines might be separate takes, like cut from different places. I think she says Omega at a different point in the episode, and then she says, with his body, I can construct a new Gallifrey. Now, this is the big, absolutely mad stuff. I mean, we theorised it last week, and we're kind of correct. The Rani's plan is indeed to bring a new Gallifrey. Possibly a Gallifrey without, like, so obviously, if you know the lore of Omega, if you want to see the history of Omega, the entire history of that character, there's a video on this channel you can check out, but to run you through a quick synopsis of him, he was trapped in a black hole, he created time travel, he got whooshed away through this black hole, abandoned and forgotten by Gallifrey. So Omega might have teamed up with the Rani to bring about his perfect Gallifrey, because he was one of the founders. If he hadn't been yeeted through the black hole, maybe that's the Gallifrey that Omega wants to bring around alongside the Rani. I've seen a lot of theories as well, which are quite cool, about the idea that obviously once the sprinkled was salted, once the salt was sprinkled in Wild Blue Yonder, it let myth and legend into the universe. What if, because the Rani is at heart a scientist, and so is Omega, both of them are scientists. Omega was a stellar engineer, I think they were called on Gallifrey. They're both incredibly clever scientists. They want to return order and science to the universe, thus get rid of the gods. So perhaps the Rani is using her powers and using the Wish baby against the Pantheon to try and banish them away so that the universe can go back to a more structured, ordered, scientific way of things. And who better to help her than Omega? But yeah, I reckon this blue light, because when the clock strikes midnight, whatever, it's past that time, I reckon this is going to be summoning Omega, or trying to summon him, because yeah, the line with his body, I can construct a new Gallifrey, could be the Doctor, could be Omega. If it's the Doctor, it would make sense because of the Timeless Child thing. She could be gene splicing him, sort of carrying on the work of Tecteun. Now here is a really interesting shot, because that seems to be, I think, that is the clock opening up. So I think it's going to blast all of this light towards the seal of Rassilon, and then, once it's finished doing whatever it does, it's going to open up, which we see here. Now I really hope this is Omega returning. He's coming out of the clock, coming into our universe. I mean, he is the OG Time Lord. That's what's said in this episode. Like, God of Time, perhaps, coming out of the clock. It would be very fitting. Then here, I still don't quite understand what these geezers are doing or why they're here, but I'm sure their appearance will become, their reason for existing will become apparent in the next story. We've got the big bone creatures stomping their way towards Unit HQ. Now, I did also think perhaps would one of these creatures, like, are these creatures going to be like Omega's servants? Like, obviously they're sort of servants to the Rani, but if Omega needs a physical form, would he perhaps inhabit one of them or something along those lines? Or I could imagine Omega's design being like bones and all scary because he doesn't technically have a body. Either way, I think real Unit are back somehow. They stopped the Underverse thing from happening by the looks of this cityscape. So yeah, you've got Unit HQ readying to fight these beasts. See, that vault crate thing we'll come to in a second, because that's very interesting. It's just something to note, but Mel's orange Vespa motorbike thingy is there. Why? I don't know. Has she been riding it around the office? Did the Rani get bored and go, yeah, why not? I mean, it looks like, I'm pretty sure it's got to be Unit HQ that they're in there. So the Rani makes it into Unit HQ. Intriguing. I kind of wonder whether the Doctor's going to be able to stop, like, the Omega plan midway through the episode and solve a bunch of it, restore the Earth, but obviously the Rani will still be alive, and then she goes to Unit HQ, she does this evil speech. I don't know. I also think we're going to get a Mrs. Flood betrayal. They're definitely setting it up. You know when she's making those sandwiches and she's like, oh, I have to do everything around here. Mrs. Flood is going to turn on the Rani. There's going to be a scrap between the two Ranis. But yeah, Unit HQ, then this is what really interests me, right? So this crate vault prison thing, we last saw one of these in Lucky Day, which it's from Unit's underground archive thing, where you've got, like, the Shriek was in it last. But in the archive, you've also got the Toymaker, right? So it's established the Underverse is rising, all of these gods are rising. What if they bring out the Toymaker? Or if the Doctor has fallen through into the Underverse to have a confrontation with Omega, and Unit have got their memories back somehow, and they're like, right, how do we defeat the Time Lords? Well, we've got a Time Lord locked up in storage. Which Time Lord? The Master, or Missy. If any version of the Master was going to help out, it would be Missy. And let's not forget, the last we saw of the Master, they were shrunk into a little golden tooth and left on the helipad of Unit during the giggle. So who's to say that wasn't Kate Stewart's hand with the red nail varnish that picked up the golden tooth, stored it in Unit, and now they're like, oh god, there's multiple Time Lords attacking us, how do we save the day? We'll get another Time Lord to battle them, so they get a good version of the Master, which would explain why Michelle Gomez was at the premiere as well. They get her to come out of this vault and face down the Rani, etc. It's probably too much, though. We've only got an hour for this story. I don't think you can have the Master in there, and I kind of hope they don't do that, but we'll discuss more about who or what could be in this vault, probably in another video, because there's a lot of intriguing possibilities. Anyway, yeah, I assume this is either the Rani taking something out of Unit, because we saw her in Unit HQ in the other shot. She could be taking something, an evil device, or trying to unleash the Toymaker, or something along those lines. Then we see, I think, is this Unit HQ as well? Or probably somewhere in Unit. It's Belinda. I think this is Belinda with her real memories back, saying that she's going to save her daughter, even though I think she knows it's not actually her daughter by this point, because I presume that's Belinda. I reckon, yeah, Belinda's character throughout the whole season has always, like, when someone needs help, she never refuses. She's always there, she's trying to help, she's trying to comfort, and I think in this time of absolute crisis, while the Doctor's gone, possibly in the Underverse or wherever, Belinda is here to look after Poppy and to make sure that she's okay. Then we cut back to the Bone Palace, where, yeah, I think that is the clock that has now got the sort of seal of Omega, like Omega's logo, on it. This is mad. It's got to be him coming out, hasn't it? It's got to be. This will match with the other shot from earlier. I presume this has got to be... Surely we've got to see Omega behind that door, because it's opening, and then what happens? But here we have Unit, and I presume probably the Vlinks in action, firing away at the bone creatures. Colonel Ibrahim yelling as Unit absolutely decimates one of them. What a cool trailer. Like, that's mad. Like, a Unit gonna survive all of this? It looks... Is there... Yeah, no, the building, the skyscraper's been absolutely, like, tarnished. There's holes in it left, right, and centre. That's crazy. Yeah, and Colonel Ibrahim there with a big gun. Mad. Mad. So yeah, there's not much Doctor in that trailer. There's no Melanie at all, Melanie Bush. I mean, we've got to have a Mel confrontation with the Rani at some point. Like, you absolutely have to. Like, them two know each other. It would be bizarre to bring back the two of them in an episode and not have them interact. But, I don't know, it's intriguing. Where is the Doctor? That's the thing I'm wondering. Is Omega perhaps going to take the Doctor's body? Like, the Doctor falls into the Underverse, then just like with the Peter Davison story, he comes back having taken the 15th Doctor's body, or something along those lines. I'm intrigued. Let me know any theories you have in the comments section down below. Are you excited for this episode? How did you find last episode? I've found, like, a lot of people it seems to be a semi-divisive episode. I quite enjoyed it, and I have rewatched it now, and after rewatch, I enjoyed it the same amount as I did on my first watch. I thought it was pretty good. But let me know what you're thinking in the comments down below. As ever, if you did enjoy, please do remember to like, comment, subscribe and share. Really helps me out a lot. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.
Don't forget to click below and subscribe to the official Confused Adipose YouTube channel.
I will destroy you! She's not seen a single episode.
No, I've watched your episodes.
Keep these sonic screwdrivers.
What else am I saying about the film? Don't watch this one.